Hi, hello, English readers. Welcome to episode 19 of the podcast Reading English. I'm Lydie Bureau and I'm an English teacher in France. I'm also the founder of Lydie's Book Club, in which I host live readings of adaptations of classics of contemporary novels, or contemporary novels of English literature. And once a week, I meet the members of the book club via Zoom to discuss the chapters read over the week. And we also talk about books in general and the books that they've been reading and about learning English and other daily conversation. Today, I'm delighted to host a live reading of a Penguin Readers adaptation of Little Women. This is it. Hi, guys. Thank you for joining live. I'm recording this live podcast on the 1st of May, and well, it's a bank holiday in France and probably in other countries. So probably people are busy just relaxing and doing nothing. So we'll see if anyone is joining live. So, as I was saying, we're going to read today this live reading, this adaptation of Penguin Readers, Little Women by Louisa May Alcott. This book has been adapted for learners of English with a beginner level or A1. Here it's level 1. You can see here on the side of the book that there is different levels. And here, what's great with Penguin Readers books is that you have here the different levels, and they have a wide range of graded readers books, and I love how they're made as well. And because of that, because this book has been adapted for beginners, it's heavily illustrated with little cartoons, and it looks more like a comic book. But as I know that many adults like comic books, I am sure that you will take as much pleasure, as I will reading it. So let's get started. I'm going to start first by reading the note about the story. So let me show you a little bit how the book is structured. So here you've got the contents, and you can see that it mirrors very much the same as the original book. So here is the original book, and it's divided in 2 parts. So I like the fact that Penguin Readers really kept that same structure. Well, the chapters, of course, are adapted here. So there is part 1, Little Women, and it's divided in 4 chapters. And part 2 is called Good Wives, and it's again divided in 4 chapters. So we're going to read the whole book today because there isn't much text, as you can see in the speech bubbles. So it can be read in one go. And that's why I decided to do this live reading as a podcast and not as a live read along, as I usually do each month. So I'm going to show you now the rest. So in the lower level, so I think, if I'm not mistaken, for level 1, 2, 3, and maybe 4, they're doing a little recap of the characters. So you can see here the main characters. They drawn they've did a little page on the characters with their ages. So you've got Meg, Joe, Beth, Amy, Marmee, the mother, and Laurie, the neighbor. And then you've got here some words, like a bank of words here for young readers, or for young or beginner learners of English. So you've got here a map of Europe. Then you've got here a letter. Here you've got a present, a poor person, someone rich, you can see a lot of money, and here the war. Okay, so I'm going to read here the note about the story. This is what I like in Penguin Readers books, is that you always have a note about the story and also about the author. So let's read. Louisa May Alcott, the author of the book, lived near Boston, USA. She had 3 sisters and her family did not have a lot of money, but Alcott worked and the money helped her family. In the 1800s, sorry, in the 1800s, many people were very poor. Often they did not have money for food or clothes. Little Women starts in the American Civil War, so 1861 to 1865. That's the American Civil War. A civil war is a war between different people in the same country. Alcott could not go to war because she was a woman, but she worked in a war hospital. She was a nurse for a couple weeks. At that time, women could not do many things. Women had to have a husband and children. This was very important. So here is also in the note about the story, you've got is explanation of terms. And here they talked about, they mentioned the Civil War. What does that mean? What means the word Civil War? Well, the expression, the group of word Civil War. And it explains also a little bit of background, context. It puts the book a little bit in context with this little introduction of the novel. So if you want to know more about Louisa May Alcott and her work, I invite you to watch or listen to my episode 18, an introduction to Louisa May Alcott and Little Women. It's available on YouTube or Spotify. So I invite you to listen to this podcast and get to know more about Louisa May Alcott. I've also done a live reading of Little Women. However, unfortunately, I didn't check properly the adaptation, and it was the adaptation of Oxford Bookworms. That was made a couple years, it dates from 1990s, 1995. Well, it's been re-edited in 2008, but unfortunately it's only part 1. So you can still definitely watch the live readings of this one, which is more detailed. You will have a more information about the story, and it's for B1 learners. So the level is a little bit higher. There are more vocabulary. So if you want to try and test your knowledge of English and try out this adaptation of the novel, then please do. But it's only part one of the book, of the original book here. So today the adaptation is for beginners, but it's the entire book that is being adapted. So much more loyal to the book, the original book. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, right, let's go. Part 1, Little Women. Chapter 1, 4 Sisters. December 1862. I hate being poor. Christmas with no presents is not Christmas. Some girls have lots of beautiful things, but we have nothing. We are lucky. We've got father and mother. So that's Beth, the character of Beth, who is always cheerful and always seeing things on the positive side. And so we see the 4 sisters sitting in the living room. It's Christmas Eve, and they're talking about presents, so things that you get for Christmas, boxes with lots of things. No, Beth, we haven't got father because he's at war. And I'm not lucky. I have to work for Aunt March, and she's old and always angry. That's not very bad. You don't have to go to school. The girls laugh at me because my dress is old. So here is the character of Jo, who is working for aunt, a very rich aunt. And that's Amy, the little one, the little sister, Amy, the youngest, who has the chance to go to school, but she doesn't see it that way because she's probably, she is laughed at. So other children are being mean. They're not nice with her because she doesn't have nice clothes. I have to clean this house. I have no time for my piano. We were rich, but father helped a friend and lost his money. So then you've got Beth saying that, well, she's not so happy either because she has to take care of their house and clean all the time, and she doesn't have time to play the piano. And here we've got Meg, the eldest, Margaret, and she is saying that they used to be rich, but their father, who is fighting in the American Civil War, has lost the money because he helped a friend, and now they are poor. Well, there is a degree to being poor, I think. Here they are poor compared to the neighborhood they live in, because we could consider that they're not really poor. They live in a fine house, but they have a servant as well. We will see it later, but I guess they're not as rich as the neighbors and their friends' family. We have to work, but we are happy family. We are a happy family. Jo, sit nicely. You're not a boy. And so you've got Jo lying on the ground, on the floor, on the carpet here. And that's why Meg, she is the sensible one. She is always doing the right thing. And she's asking her sister to not behave like a boy, because Jo is a very, she's a tomboy. She likes to do what boys do. And she is very much the same, has the same character, same personality as the author, Louisa May Alcott, because the author was inspired by her own sisters to create the story. So this character is very much like the author herself, who was a tomboy as well. And Beth is, saying that although they have to work, they're still a happy family. I hate being a girl. I like boys' games and boys' work. I can't go to war with father, but I want to. Stop saying that. That's Amy. Yeah, so cute. Okay. We have a little money. We can buy Christmas presents. Yes. No, Amy, let's buy Marmee some presents. Yes. So Marmee is how they call their mother. It's a very very warm surname, because they love their mother. They have a very close relationship with their mother. And this is also how she would call her, how Louisa May would call her own mother as well. Hello, girls. Hello, mother. So it's the mom arriving here. Marmee, is that a letter from father? Yes, Meg. He writes, I think of the girls every day and night. They must be good. Then I can be proud of my little women. Yeah, so you can see the mother reading to her daughters. Yeah, and it's very close to, the novel itself. The mother actually comes home and she has a letter from the father. Well, there is more text to this, but it is very much like in the novel. Same event. I'm often angry. I'm too vain. I'm too selfish. I'm too shy. We can be better. Let's try. So it's very good here if you're an English teacher, because here you've got lots of adjectives: being angry, vain. Vain is similar to, well, being selfish as well. Shy, very different. That shows their character. So you will find here all the vocabulary that all the words that are in bold in the text, you will find them in the glossary. And for example, vain, people think that they are beautiful. Yeah. So they have a high esteem of themselves. They think they're superior than others. Okay. They're very confident in themselves. And that's very much Jo. Yeah. Okay, chapter 2 now. A Happy Christmas. Okay. Marmee, thanks for my book. We got books too. Let's eat. I'm hungry. That's Beth. That's Amy. Happy Christmas, my little daughters. So that's they get presents here. And that's Amy saying that she's hungry. Doesn't really care about the book. There is a poor family near here, a mother and 7 children. They have no fire and no food. Girls, come with me. Let's give them our Christmas breakfast. And here you can see there are about to eat their breakfast, but their mother has met an even more poor family than them, a poor woman with her 7 children, 7 children. And so they all agree to follow their mother and bring the food in their little baskets. Oh, thank you. Thank you. That's the mother with the kids. And it really portrays what Christmas is about. It's being charitable towards a stranger and towards one another. So they're having a very fine feast here. And let's continue. That family was happy. We did a good thing. So here it's probably Meg, I think, who is speaking and who's very proud. They're all very proud of having helped this family. Mother's coming. Beth, play the piano. Amy, open the door. Thank you for my beautiful presents. So here you've got the girls had prepared a little surprise for their mother, and they bought her slippers. I think in the story they managed to save money to buy her slippers, or I think Beth made her slippers, some shoes, and then I think Beth offered her a handkerchief, to blow your nose, handkerchief. And I think she got a perfume. Oh, or Amy. Yeah, Amy. I can't remember who bought what, but then she got also a perfume. And what else? Yeah, and I think, yeah, the slippers and some flowers probably. Yeah, here. You can see here the little presents on the table. Yeah. Okay. The next day. Joe, look, it's an invitation to a New Year party for you and me. But what can we, it's not really next day. I think here it's a little mistake in terms of dating because it's New Year Eve. The New Year's Eve. And it's probably a couple days. Oh no, my mistake. Yeah, she probably sent it and the New Year party is later. Sorry. So the next day. Joe, look, it's an invitation to a New Year party for you and me. But what can we wear? We only have old dresses. Our dresses are fine. Don't be vain. Sorry, that was Meg. I don't know. I think I said Joe. Yes, Meg likes beautiful things. She wished that they were richer because she's got friends, girls friends who are quite rich and they have fine clothes and fine dresses, and Meg wished that she had those beautiful dresses. And here she is worried about what to wear for this New Year party. Joe, stop! You're burning my hair. I can't go to the party now. So they were getting ready for the New Year party, and that's a funny moment in the story where Joe is burning accidentally Meg's hair, and it's quite funny because, well, Joe is so easily distracted, and that's not her thing. She doesn't like very much doing hair and spending time doing her hair or caring about this. So She's very sorry. Oh no, I'm sorry, Meg. Yeah, she's very clumsy. Okay, now chapter 3, the Lawrence boy. And I think that's in the novel. It's also it holds the same name, the Lawrence boy. It's chapter 3, and it's also chapter 3. So it's very well. It fitted very well here. Okay, so they are at the ball, at the party. I am a girl. I can't talk to those boys, but I want to. So that's Jo hiding behind a curtain. And here you can see a boy behind her who's also hiding. Oh, sorry. Don't go, Miss March. I only came here because I don't know many people. So he's as shy, he's as shy and is as shy as Jo, and he's also not very sociable person. Yeah. Don't say Miss March. I'm only Jo. You live next door to us, I think, Mr. Lawrence. Yes, I do, but don't say Mr. Lawrence. I'm only Laurie. Dance with me in the hall. No one can see us there. Do you go to school? No, I work at my aunt March's house. I read to her and I talk to her. I have a tutor. His name is Mr. Brooke. My parents died. I live with my grandfather. So here is when Jo meets for the first time Laurie, and they are going to become very close friends. And yeah, you can see here though that there is something happening with Meg. Let's see. My foot is hurt. I can't walk home, but we have no money for a carriage. I can take you home in my grandfather's carriage. Oh, thank you. I had a great time. Laurie is my new friend. He's very rich. So here you've got Meg, who actually broke her ankle. She danced so much. She had so much fun that she broke her ankle or something, or not her ankle or her shoes, or something happened to her shoes. And so she can't keep on dancing. So they decide to go home. And a carriage, here the word carriage is in bold. It's a word for the transportation that they used at the time. So if you've seen period drama series, you probably know what a carriage is. It's you've got two or three horses, and you've got the little it's like the car of the time, and you have the two horses at the front, and then the little how to say, I don't know, the little I don't know, like a little car, the protection of to sit. So they're sitting here in the carriage. So the thing that it's that the horses are pulling to move forward. So how did they translate it? Carriage, people sit in the carriage and a horse pulls it. Yeah. So it's the little, it's like box, a wooden little cabin sort of thing, or like yeah, similar to a carriage of a train or something like that. A coach. Yeah, you say a coach as well. Anyway, so Yeah, it was the car of the 19th century. Okay, the next day here. I hate working at my Aunt March's house. Sorry. She must sleep. Then I can read my book. Don't stop reading to me. It's an important book. Maybe you can learn something, stupid girl. Okay, so Jo, that's Jo. She doesn't really like reading, spending time with her aunt. She's quite strict one, very authoritarian. She's not a nice person, and she definitely doesn't like reading the books that Aunt March likes. So she always she's always impatient for her grandmother to for her aunt to start sleeping so that she can start reading the books that she likes. Because Jo is a very big reader. That evening. Where are you two going? Okay. Where are you two going? We're going to the theater with Laurie. With Laurie. Jo, can't we take Amy? No, I don't want her with us. She's a baby. You're not kind, Jo March. So that's the little fight between the sisters. So you've got Amy, the youngest, who wants to go to the theater with the two eldest, and Laurie, their new friend. But Jo doesn't want her little sister to come with them. So Amy is going to be very angry about it, and she's going to have her revenge. The next day. My story? Where is it? Amy? You weren't kind to me yesterday. I was angry and I burned your story. What? I can never forgive you. Never. I'm going skating with Laurie. He's good to me. So here, actually in, yeah. Yeah, it's I was thinking that probably in the story was a little bit different, but actually, no, she actually tells her that, yeah, she burned the book. So in this, it was actually a note, yeah, her notebook in which she wrote. Jo is writing stories in this notebook, and Amy knows that she loves that story, so she took it and she burned it. And obviously, it's a disaster for Jo, and she is very upset about this and very angry at her sister. So she goes skating, knowing that Amy likes skating with her and Laurie. She goes without her. I must say sorry to Jo. Maybe she can forgive me. Skate here. It's dangerous there. Amy didn't hear Laurie, but I'm angry with her. She can skate in that dangerous place. So they're going skating on an icy lake. And Laurie is warning Jo to not skate in that part of the lake. But Amy did not hear that because she was too far behind and she fell. Help! Take this, Amy. Be warm. Amy, forgive me. It was dangerous there and I didn't tell you. I'm sorry. I mustn't get angry with people. I must learn that. Yes, they managed to rescue her from the hole. And Jo got really scared because her sister actually was in bed. So they brought her back to the house, and she stayed in bed because she caught a cold, a very strong cold, and she had to lie down in the bed and have rest and to recover. So Jo felt very bad for not forgiving her sister. But one could sympathize with Jo because if you had to put yourself in Jo's shoes, you would have been very angry as well that your little sister had burned your book in with your stories, in which you put a lot of effort in. So yeah, but it's a nice, very Christian thinking to be forgiving and not hold the grudge too much. So that's the expression to when you don't want to forgive someone, you hold the grudge. Yeah. So chapter 4. So this is our last chapter of part 1, and then we'll move on to part 2. So it goes fast. Okay. Dark Days. November 1863. The end. I love that story. Who wrote it? Your sister. Jo. Did you write it? Yes, the newspaper paid me. This can be my new job. The money can help our family. Great. Yes, in fact, Jo she had the courage to go to a publishing house, and a newspaper, sorry, not a publishing house, a newspaper, and they accepted her story, and they published it in the newspaper, like it was like a column in the newspaper, and she is so happy when she brought the newspaper home. And yeah, she actually got paid, not much, but it was the start. And it's also this way that Louisa May Alcott started earning money. She started earning her money by publishing little short stories in the papers. And she earned her first money like that, her first salaries like that. And then she managed to live from her writing until the rest of her life. And she was actually able to support her family, her parents, more specifically, until they died. So yeah, it mirrors very much Louisa May Alcott's own story. Okay. Laurie is here. Oh, this letter came for you. Mrs. March, your husband is very ill. You must come to the hospital in Washington. I must go on the next train. But we haven't got any money. Okay, so here, Marmee learns that her father has been brought to Washington Hospital. He's very ill, and she decides to, and they ask her to come urgently. But the problem is it costs a lot of money to go to Washington. There is a couple hours of travel, and she needs money to pay for the carriage and also for the food or anything. The next day, Mr. Brooke, Miss March, I can go with your mother. That's kind. That's kind. Thank you very much. Okay, so that's Meg going to talking to Mr. Brooke. So remember, Mr. Brooke is Laurie's tutor, and he's a very shy and very kind man. And he is volunteering to accompany their mother to Washington. And Meg is very grateful for his this gesture. Marmee, take this money with you. Where did you get it? And here is Joe who's coming home late. Their mother is about to go, and she came back with a lot of money, and she managed to get that money by cutting her hair short. I sold my hair. No, Joe, your beautiful hair. And then she goes off. So it was, you can see how much how benevolent Joe is. She's ready to do everything for her mother to get the money to go to attend to help and support their father, and she's ready to do anything to support her family. So she doesn't care. She is, yeah, even to cut her hair, she's determined to help her mother, and she's not afraid of looking differently. And also, in a way, as we know, Joe would like to be she strongly would like to be, she would strongly like to be a boy, sorry. So in a way, this act of having her hair cut that short is also a way for her to get to a place where she would have short hair and look a little bit like a boy as well. And yeah, actually, Louisa May Alcott was probably a lesbian. She never married, never had children, and there are some assumptions or suggestions that she probably stayed a spinster. She stayed alone. She never had she was never married because she probably loved women and could not at the time have a married life with another man, or could not live with another woman. That was not unthinkable at the time. So she probably dedicated, and that's probably why she dedicated her life to writing. And she wrote so many novels and short stories and poems and everything. So yes, here is a little clue here about Louisa May's personality and also Joe and what Joe is ready to do for her family. Okay, December 1863. Where is Beth? She's on the bed. She's very ill. We must write to Marmee. Yes, she must come home the next week. Mother, where is Brooke? He stayed with father. How is Beth? Water. So here to explain, to give a little bit of background story about Beth. So Beth decided to help a family, a German family, a poor German family. And the baby had scarlet fever, and she looked after that baby. She was working, yeah, and she helped this family, and she looked after the baby, and she caught the scarlet fever, and that's why she's been very sick, and that's why she's in bed. The next week, I'm better. I have a Christmas present for the March family. Father! Okay, so now everything ends well in the end. Beth recovers from the scarlet fever. They got really scared, but she's not going to completely recover, as you will see. But she's better. She's alive, and they got really scared. They're especially Joe thought that she had died at some point, but no, when she recovered, and on the Christmas day, so a whole year happened here, and on the following Christmas, their dad came back home, and they're also happy about the fact that he went home. And you can see Beth still on the couch here, even though she feels better. She is not 100%. Thank you for your help with father, Mr. Brooke. Meg, please be my wife. We must wait 3 years because I have no money now. I don't like weddings. Women go to live with their husbands and their sisters miss them. So that's the end of part 1. And over the Christmas celebrations, Mr. Brooke reveals his love to Meg. And he proposed to her. But as he is just a tutor, he doesn't have much money, he's poor. They have to wait 3 years before he can provide for both of them. So that's why. And what is not said here is that Aunt March doesn't like the match, and she's not happy about it. But Meg doesn't care whether he is rich or not. She just wants to be with him because she's in love with him, and she doesn't care about his rank. And on the contrary, here you've got Joe, on the other hand, who's also not happy about this marriage because she will deeply miss her sister. At the time, Meg is maybe 17 when he proposed. And yeah. And for Joe, it's it's a disaster, and she's very sad about it, which is similar to what experienced Louisa May Alcott with her eldest sister. She When she got married, we can read in one of her journals or letters that she sent to a relative that she could not be comforted by her other sisters about this dreadful news about the marriage of her sister. So yeah, it's a sad news for Jo. Okay, part 2 now. Good Wives. Chapter 5, The First Wedding, June 1867. This wedding's too small. Meg wanted a little wedding, Aunt. Mr. Brooke is poor, but he's good and Meg loves him. So here you've got everyone gathered at the church, and Aunt March, not happy about this little marriage and about the match because he's poor. Because Mr. Brooke is poor. And I think that's Jo who is telling her aunt that, yeah, well, it doesn't matter. She loves, as long as she, as Mr. Brooke is a kind man, doesn't matter. And she loves him. July 1867. Marmee, can I have a party for my school friends? Yes, Amy. You can have bread, fruit, and coffee. No, I must have lots of meat, cake, and ice cream. My friends are rich and they always eat nice things. I can't give them only bread. They must like the party. They must like me. How many school friends do you have? 14. Yeah, it's true. I've forgotten this. Yeah, so that's Amy asking to her mother to host a party. And she will get very busy with the preparing the party. Amy will take care of the whole preparing, but no one came. Maybe just, yeah, one person. I'm stupid. The food was a lot of money, but only one friend came. Yeah, just one. That's sad for you. Send the food to the poor family. I don't want it. Yeah, this is so sad for Amy. She put so much effort in doing this little dinner party and this little lunch party thing. And yeah, none of them came. November 1867. Goodbye, my beautiful Meg. Enjoy shopping with Sally. Oh, no, enjoy shopping with Sally. Thanks, John. Have a nice day at work. Look, Sally, it's beautiful, Meg, but it's a lot of money. Buy it. Yeah, so here they're going shopping. So it's Meg here. No, sorry. It's Sally, Meg's friend, and she's rich, much richer than Jo. And they're shopping and they see this beautiful dress. It's $50. And it's a lot of money at the time. Did you buy this dress yesterday? It's very nice. You're angry? I can see it. I'm sorry. It's fine, Meg, but remember, you are a poor man's wife. But it's very difficult for Meg to deal with the fact that they are poor because she's got a lot of rich friends and she cannot compete. She's always comparing herself to her rich friends, and she's envious of their life. And so she bought the dress, but she knows that it's too much money to spend. You need a new coat. We have no money for that. What's wrong? Sally, can you buy my dress for me? Then I can buy a new coat for John. Of course, don't cry. And luckily, her friend is quite understanding, and she doesn't mind her not being very rich, Joe not being very rich. So Meg is going to resell her her dress to her friend. This way they can buy a new coat. She can buy a new coat for her husband. Yeah. But again, it's the woman sacrificing her desire to her husband. Do you like my new dress? Thank you, Meg. And here you can see Meg wearing the coat, the new coat that she bought for her husband. Chapter 6, Only Friends. Summer 1868. I love you, Meg's little babies, but I'm going. Goodbye, Amy. Enjoy Europe with Aunt Carol. Goodbye, Father. Goodbye, Laurie. Okay, so here is Amy, a grown-up Amy, who has been invited by her aunt, Carol, and also Aunt March to go to Europe with her. And she is so happy. She's over the moon to be going to this trip. And Jo, it's not said here, but she's quite jealous about the fact that Amy was chosen to go to Europe and not her. Winter 1868. Jo, Beth is not well. Is she ill again? No, she's sad. What's wrong? Can I help you? No, you can't. There is no help for me. And Jo thinks that Beth loves Laurie, and that's why she is in that state. Hello, Jo. Jo? Beth can't talk to you. I have lots to do. Beth can talk to you. I have lots to do. Marmee, I think Laurie loves me. But to me, is only a friend. I must go to New York. I can be a tutor there. Then he can forget me. Yes. So yeah, you here it's been omitted, but they've been spending a lot of time. They grew together and they grew up together. And Jo felt that Laurie started to have feelings for her in the way he was behaving with her. And so that's why she decided that she would like to go to New York. They have some relations there. And then her mother agrees. Listen, it's a letter from Jo to Marmee and Beth. I like it in New York. I have a friend here. He's called Mr. Baer. He's a German teacher. In the evening, he teaches me German. And other, yeah. Yeah, so here you've got Marmee and Beth at home. So in the end, in the house, it's only Beth and her parents. All the other sisters are gone. Meg is married. She has 2 babies. She's got twin babies. And Amy is abroad, is in Europe, and Joe is in New York. So it's only Beth at home, and she's quite weak. Summer 1869, and summer 1869. Joe, you're home. Joe, I love you. Please be my wife. So Joe comes back home, and thinking that Laurie would have forgotten about her love for her, then she's quite mistaken. He proposed to her, and she might not. She's not quite on the same page as him. I'm sorry, Laurie. No, you love that German teacher. No, I don't. I don't want a husband. I'm going. It's sad. He loves me. He loves me, not Beth. Yeah. So here in this passage, she rejects Laurie, and Laurie is devastated because he loved her since the beginning, and he's very disappointed about the rejection from Joe. He was deeply in love with her. Beth, you're sad because you love Laurie? You didn't tell me. No, Joe, I don't love Laurie. I'm ill. Oh no, Beth, my Beth. Where is Laurie going? He's going to Europe. He must forget me and come home happy. Yes. Yeah, so he decides to follow his uncle. I mean, it's his grandfather who suggests that they go to Europe together. He has some relatives and friends over there, and the grandfather thinks that's going to be a good thing for Laurie to get over Joe. So he accompanies his grandfather to Europe. So, chapter 7, Europe, winter 1869. Laurie, you're in France too. Come to happy, Amy, happy Christmas. Come to a party with me tonight. So yeah, they meet. So Laurie meets Amy in the south of France. She is staying there. She's having a brilliant time with her aunties, and she's been taking she's been drawing a lot, painting a lot. She loves painting, and they're staying in the south of France. I think they meet in Nice, to be precise, and they meet actually. She's actually driving the carriage, and they meet in the street of Nice, like that. So that's very loyal to the book. What are you doing in Europe? Nothing. Nothing? You must learn or work. You're very lazy. I'm lazy? The lazy is not someone that doesn't do anything, doesn't want to do anything. So Amy is going to be very mad at Laurie because she feels that he's wasting his time, not doing anything, not being busy working or learning things. Yeah. I'm sad because Joe doesn't love me. Show her you can work hard. Joe hates lazy people. And yeah, she actually says that to her. She makes a whole uh, speech, um, being very, she's a little bit harsh towards him, but in a way, gonna make Laurie react. Spring 1870. Beth, don't die. I love you. Don't cry, Joe. Help mother and father. They need you. Only love is important. And here at the same time, while Amy is away in Europe, Beth dies from um, the from contracting the, well, she never fully recovered from the scarlet fever. She was always sick and very weak, had a very weak body, and finally she eventually died when she was still maybe 20 in her early 20s. And Joe was with her when she died. And it's a very sad moment, a very sad passage in the story. In France. Oh no, Beth! Laurie, it's very sad. Come, walk with me. Please, be my wife. It's very quick. So here, Amy learns from Laurie that Beth has died, and they're going to spend, so they both learned that Beth died, and they're going to kind of console or grieve together. And Laurie is going to start having feelings for Amy, and he's going to propose, as Amy was definitely in love with him since the beginning. Yeah, since she was very young. There was another boy who proposed to Amy, but she rejected him. And I think it was Laurie's friend. And he came back, and yeah. And then she refused, and she reflected on her decision, and she said, oh, well, if he comes back, well, she told Laurie that if he'd come back, she would, if he proposed again, she would probably accept his proposal. And then that made Laurie reflect, and he started feeling jealous about this. And so that probably proved his feelings towards her. November 1870. That was, yeah, 1870. Yeah, spring 1870. So now, end of the year 1870. Laurie, you home? Where is Amy? My wife is at Meg's house. Your wife? Oh, I'm so happy. I loved you, Joe, but I was a boy. I'm a man now. The next day, you miss Beth a lot. I know. You must write stories. You enjoy that. Your friend, Mr. Bayer. So Laurie and Amy finally come back to the US, and they surprise the March family, and they got married in France. And actually, Joe and Laurie managed to reconcile, because Laurie was very angry at Joe. and they managed to, and Joe was so happy about the news. They finally Laurie got over Joe, although he loved her still, but it was a different love than Amy. Like a first love kind of thing. And yeah, I forgot what I wanted to say. Anyway, yeah. So, Mr. Bear, come inside. He's intelligent. He's a good man. So that's Mr. Baer. So he is a German teacher he's German, and he had to uh, to escape to leave Germany to find wealth in America, and he was a teacher, and he likes very much Joe, but he's definitely not the handsome looking guy, and he's very old. He's much older than Joe. He's probably in his early 40s, but Joe likes him because he encourages her to write stories, and he's challenging her. So despite the fact that she would never want to marry, well, she might change her mind. December 1870. So she decides to go. So Mr. Bear is came to visit Joe in Concord, and so that's the place where I think it's in Concord. I think she used the same place as Louisa May lived as well in the novel. And so he is in town because he's got some other business, and he is in the street, and Joe decides to go to shop she had to post a letter or to do some shopping, and it's raining like cats and dogs, as you would say. It's raining a lot, and she didn't bring her umbrella, and she knows that Mr. Baez is in town, and she's quite frustrated, or she doesn't understand why he's not come back to the house. And here they meet in the street. Mr. Bear, I have a new job in a different town. Why are you crying? Because I can't see you again. Oh, that's good. You love me too. So he secretly loved her, but he didn't reveal his feelings for her because he had heard of Laurie, and he thought that she was in love with him. So he never dare saying anything, and he didn't know she had feelings for him too. But I'm poor. You love me too. But I'm poor. The wedding was wait. Yes, we must work hard. So again, these two have to wait another year, I think, or two, maybe two years, because he had a job offer I forgot to mention that. Yeah, he had a job offer in California, and he really needs the money, so he has to take this job in a university, I think. So he's very happy about that. and she's saying, oh, but that's fine, we're not in a rush, and we need to work hard to be able to have a good life, to have money. So last chapter, chapter 8, A Happy Family. Spring 1872. Aunt March died yesterday. That's sad. She gave me our house. She loved me, but I didn't know. You can have that big house. Now I can open a school for little boys with no mothers. I can be their mother, and Mr. Bear can be their teacher. Joe, you're very good. Yes, indeed. They're going to open this school for boys. That's the little disappointment for me in the novel, is that Louisa May chose for Joe to open a school for boys and not for little girls. But yeah, I mean, that was the 19th century and the mindset of the time. And Laurie, I'm proud of you. You're not lazy now. You work hard and you help poor people with your money. You're a good person. Thank you, March family. You gave me love. I'm lucky. Family are a beautiful thing. Families are a beautiful thing. Yeah, so you can see. So you've got the Marmee and, well, Joe's father and mother, and here Laurie and Joe. Full 1877, and they all are having a big lunch, picnic lunch under the trees, and all the kids running around and having fun. Marmee, thank you for being a good, kind mother. Oh, my family, we are very happy. Yeah, and it ends like that. And that's the end. And in the book, she actually the story ends very much with the mainly with the mother talking with the 4 sisters and with her 4 daughters and having this little chat with her daughters and looking back on what they've accomplished. And it's a beautiful scene. And it ends actually with the 4 sisters reflecting of the 3 sisters. Sorry, there are only 3 now. So you've got here you've got Joe, that's Amy, and that's Meg. And the 3 sisters reflect on their life and whether they believe they have built their castle in the air, or their Spanish castle. That's a metaphor for their dream life and dreamed life, sorry, and the life of their dream. Sorry, what am I saying? The life of their dream, and they are quite content with the life that they've built. And it ends with on this note, and they are always thinking of Beth. Always, Joe has always a thought for her sister, and it ends beautifully. And we can see that at the heart of the story is also their mother. It's the story of these 4 sisters, but also their relationship with their mother, and how mothers can be the pillar of the household and of a woman's life, or of her children's life, in comparison to the father, who is very much in the background. The whole first part of the book, he's not even there. And even in the second part, we don't, Meg he's going to seek advice to her mother about her domestic life, the fact that she struggles with with raising her twins, and how she struggles. She's going to confide in her mother a lot, and her mother is going to help her she's going to help her a lot. And that's what amazing with the story, with the novel, is that the mother is going to give her a very modern vision of the domestic life, and a very modern way to share the domestic life, how to share the yeah the task, the chores between the husband and the wife. So that's very modern for the time, to have for Louisa May Alcott to approach this topic. And there are so many other topics that she talks about, and approaches in this book that really shows how modern it is. And especially here, we don't really see, we can't really grasp these notions and these feminist concept, but it is very much a feminist book. Although there are a lot of reference to there are a lot of biblical references, and Christianity is very much at the heart of the mindset of the time. But if you consider it, this novel was written, she was a time of it was in the 19th century, and of course the authors are going to be biased. Although it's a woman, they going to have very stereotypical perception of men, and how the domestic life has to be. But on the other hand, there are very modern notions of what it is to live a married life, and what to aspire as a woman in her life. And the fact that Jo, for example, wants to be working, she wants to be independent and earn her own money and build something, be creative and earn her own money. So that's a lot for the 19th century. That's definitely not a lot. And to me, this is the feminist novel, 100%. So I talk more about the story of Louisa May Alcott in the podcast episode, the episode 18 that I told you about at the beginning of the podcast. So I invite you to listen to it and learn more about Louisa May Alcott, so that you'll be able to appreciate much more the adaptation, or an adaptation, maybe a simplified version of the original book, or maybe appreciate more the film's adaptations, or the different TV series adaptations. I don't think there are maybe more films, I think. Anyway, if you want to be more, if you want to understand more of the context, then I recommend to listen to my podcast, or just look up on internet and get to know her and her work more. So I hope you enjoyed this live reading, and if you liked it, please like the video or comment or review the podcast, because this podcast will also be available on Spotify. I will see you next week as well for a new podcast episode called An Introduction to Charlotte Bronte and Jane Eyre. It's going to introduce you to her novel, to the new novel that we're going to read in May. So before I leave you, just to remind you that from the 13th of May until the 28th, we are going to read the graded reader adaptation of Jane Eyre, which is just right here, by Charlotte Bronte. This is a A2 plus adaptation, so upper beginner. So contrary to, unlike the Little Women novel adaptation, not much, there are only text and a couple of illustrations. But it's much more rich in terms of vocabulary. So make sure you subscribe to the book club membership to be part of this journey and improve your English through reading and literary conversations. Wish you a beautiful end of the day, and I'll see you next week. Bye.